Hi, I'm Flora Graham, and this is the Motorola Xoom. The Xoom is the first tablet to come out with the tablet version of Google's Android software, called HoneyComb. If you're used to using an Android smartphone, it has a lot of similarities. But although Xoom comes in a version with 3G internet, you can't make regular phone calls on it. Instead, the focus here is on web browsing, email, watching video, and reading ebooks. Android has gotten a few tweaks for the big screen, and in general, they're excellent. The buttons are now on the screen instead of being real buttons, so they turn when you turn the Xoom from landscape to portrait. The menu button has been moved to the opposite corner, and there's a new button to show a list of what apps you have running. Adding shortcuts and widgets to the home screen is easier than ever, too, with a nice big menu that lets you drag things onto one of the tablet's 5 home screens. There's plenty of room since you can fit 56 icons on each one, which we think is far too many to take in. Also, despite the big screen, widgets tend to be packed with info rather than spacious and expansive. We hope that we'll get some big, beautiful widgets from third-party developers soon. Google has revamped many of its apps to take advantage of the tablet size. For example, the email app has 2 columns to show you your folders alongside your messages. You can also go to the Android market and install apps from there. There's a big selection, but we found it hard to find apps that are specifically designed for tablets. There's no tablet section, and there's no way to tell if an app is designed for the big screen unless you go in and read the whole description. Phone apps do work fine on the Xoom, but since they're designed for a smaller screen, they waste the space, and they also tend to look stretched out and not particularly nice. The web browser on the Xoom is fantastic. It's got tabs, so you can switch between open windows really easily, and it supports Flash, so you won't miss out on videos, photos, slideshows, and other Flash content on web pages. The browser is fast and accurate too, although in our test, the iPad 2's browser was faster. Unfortunately, lots of sites still recognize the HoneyComb browser as a mobile phone, so you either have to manually switch to the full version or they don't work at all, like the BBC iPlayer site. That's too bad because watching video was a pleasure on the Xoom, especially since it's easy to move your media files onto the tablet using a USB cable. The Xoom does have a memory card slot, but it's not supported by HoneyComb yet, so it doesn't work until it gets a software update. But watching videos does have its drawbacks. The Xoom screen isn't the best we've seen, it's pretty average. The speakers face away from you, so you can struggle to hear while blasting the people around you. Finally, the Xoom is pretty heavy, so you wouldn't want to watch it for very long without using a stand. The battery life on the Xoom could be better too. It does last a couple of days on standby, but it doesn't match up to the iPad 2. It also has a proprietary charger, which has a big brick adapter, and it doesn't charge over USB. That means you have to lug a big charger around with you, which is a real drag. Despite being first out of the gate with HoneyComb, the Xoom feels nicely finished, but we still think there's room for improvement, with better widgets, a more organized app store, and less bulk. If you just can't wait for HoneyComb, the Xoom is lots of fun, but with similar tablets arriving in force this spring, you may want to hold off until we can review the competition.